Mary wasn't forcing Missy toward a baptism tank in the finale because she suddenly became more religious. She was panicking over a deal she had been paying since Missy was born. Season 7, Episode 14. George is dead. The house feels like somebody removed the roof. Mary tells Sheldon and Missy they are getting baptized, not asks, tells. Sheldon calls it superstitious nonsense. Missy wants no part of it. Mary keeps pushing because George was baptized, so she believes he is safe in heaven. This is not a woman discussing theology. This is a woman trying to build a fence around the 2 children she has left. But why does Missy's refusal frighten her more than Sheldon's atheism ever did? The answer was buried in Season 2, Episode 14. David, Goliath, and a yoo-hoo from the back. Missy is upset with Mary, so Meemaw tells her something the audience had never heard. Sheldon was born fine, Missy was not. The doctors did not know whether she would survive. Mary became terrified and promised God that if Missy lived, she would read the Bible, attend church, and change her life. Missy hears the origin story of her mother's entire identity, then turns it into a joke. So I'm the reason she's a dud? Strip away the punchline. A little girl has just learned that her mother found religion while preparing to lose her. Missy's first invisible job in the Cooper family was not being Sheldon's twin. It was staying alive so Mary's promise would look answered. But Meemaw never mentions an expiration date. There is a psychology term for the trap Mary walks into. Magical thinking. It is the belief that thoughts, wishes, promises, or rituals can influence events outside our control. That does not make Mary's faith fake. It means terror attached itself to her faith at the exact moment Missy survived. Promise first, survival second. Mary connects them. Now stopping does not feel like changing her mind. It feels like risking her daughter. That changes the pilot. In Season 1, Episode 1, Mary gathers the family for church. Sheldon says he will go. Missy exposes the contradiction. He does not believe in God. Sheldon answers, "No, but I believe in Mom." That line sounds sweet. But it is also the entire series hiding in 8 words. Sheldon does not accept Mary's belief. He participates because he loves the person carrying it. 7 seasons later, he will make the same choice at a baptism. But first, the show nearly destroys Mary's deal. Season 2, Episode 3, A Crisis of Faith and Octopus Aliens. A 16-year-old girl from the congregation dies in a car accident. Mary tries to write that the girl is in a better place, but she cannot finish. How could anywhere be better than home with her family? Then Mary asks the sentence that threatens everything she built. How could that possibly be God's plan? Think about what that dead girl proves to her. Another family can believe. Another mother can pray. Another child can still die. Suddenly, Missy's survival might not be evidence that Mary's bargain worked. It might have been chance. So Mary stops saying grace. She skips church. The woman who promised God a lifetime finally misses a payment. Then the atheist son she keeps dragging to church repairs her faith. Sheldon argues that the universe appears finely balanced for life, then makes it personal. Billions of people exist, yet she is the perfect mother for him. Wait. The child who rejects God just rescued the promise that will later be used against him. And that is where Mary becomes difficult to defend, because fear can explain control without excusing it. Season 5, Episode 2, Snoopin' Around and the Wonder Twins of Atheism. Missy says, "I don't think I believe in God anymore." Mary does not ask what hurt her. She does not ask what changed. She turns on Sheldon. What did you do to her? Then she tells Missy she is going to church regardless of what she believes. Sheldon has questioned God since the pilot. Mary debates him. But Missy is different. Missy is the child whose survival activated the bargain. Sheldon's atheism is an argument. Missy's atheism feels like a breach of contract. That is magical thinking again. Not, my daughter is exploring what she believes. Something more primitive. The child God spared is rejecting the terms. Pastor Rob does what Mary cannot. He tells Missy that questioning is allowed. Later, Missy tells Mary that Pastor Rob said God believes in her. Mary insists she said the same thing. Missy cuts deeper. Not like he did. Mary loves Missy. Nobody can honestly watch 7 seasons and say she does not. But she is so terrified of losing the structure that began with Missy that she stops hearing Missy herself. Subscribe, because Cooper Untold is opening the scenes this family buried underneath jokes, and the next one turns Mary's devotion against her. Season 5, Episode 21, White Trash, Holy Rollers and Punching People. Georgie gets Mandy pregnant. The congregation gossips. Everyone cancels Mary's Bible study. Pastor Jeff pushes her into a leave of absence. Mary tells Pastor Rob, "All the things that I was afraid of are happening. Not embarrassed. Afraid." The church was supposed to prove Mary kept her side of the deal. She gave it her time, her labor, and her identity. Then the moment her family became messy in public, it treated her like contamination. That should have freed her. It does not. The episode ends with the person nobody expects stepping in. Missy, the girl whose near death began Mary's religious life. Missy defends Georgie, hugs her mother, then adds a blessing for Mary at dinner. Mary once believed God saved Missy. Now Missy is trying to save Mary. But Mary never learns the difference between love freely given and love forced through fear. George's death makes sure of that. Season 7, Episode 12, A New Home and a Traditional Texas Torture. George leaves for work after an ordinary morning. Nobody knows it is the last time. Later, Principal Peterson and Coach Wilkins arrive. Peterson says George had a heart attack. Missy asks the question nobody can survive hearing. He is okay, right? He's gone. Now go back to the delivery room Mary never emotionally left. A doctor once told her Missy might die. Mary made a promise. Missy survived. Years later, a heart attack takes George with no negotiation, no warning, and no time to offer anything. So in episode 14, Mary returns to the last ritual that once made chaos feel negotiable: baptism. Mima notices Mary is hitting the Bible hard and pushing the children away. Missy says Mary drove her to church 3 times in 1 week. Mary insists both twins be baptized because, after George's death, belief is no longer only belief. It is insurance. This is magical thinking at its cruelest. Water cannot guarantee Mary never loses another child. She knows Sheldon does not believe. She knows Missy is grieving. But grief drags her back to the original equation. Ritual plus obedience equals safety. Sheldon refuses because he will not be a hypocrite. Missy refuses because she is furious and done being controlled. Then Meemaw gives Sheldon the only argument that works. Do it for your mother. She needs this. So Sheldon enters church in protective gear, turns baptism into a contamination procedure, and gives Mary the ritual while withholding the belief. Adult Sheldon later calls it the ultimate gift to his mother. The show planted that payoff in the pilot. I don't believe in God. I believe in Mom. But Missy walks away. The daughter whose survival created Mary's faith refuses the ritual Mary believes will protect her. Missy is not rejecting Mary's love. She is refusing to spend her life paying Mary's debt. Then, The Big Bang Theory makes it worse. In Season 5, Episode 6, adult Mary is traveling to a Christian cruise called the Born Again Boat Ride. She is still praying, still pulling Sheldon toward faith. Viewers once treated her as a funny collision between Texas religion and Sheldon's science. The prequel kills that joke. Adult Mary is the woman who once begged for her baby's life, watched that baby survive, then became incapable of treating the promise as finished. That does not excuse every cruel thing she says. It makes the cruelty sadder. She controls because she is scared. She judges because rules make randomness feel smaller. She pushes Sheldon because his doubt threatens her certainty. But she pushes Missy harder because Missy is the living evidence that certainty was built on. Mary thought she was paying God with Bible studies, Sunday services, church work, forced attendance, and finally baptism. The real payment came from the family. George lived inside rules he did not choose. Sheldon comforted his mother with rituals he did not believe. Missy spent years feeling unseen by the woman whose life changed because Missy survived. That is the contradiction nobody talks about. Mary's faith began with the deepest maternal love imaginable, a terrified mother offering everything for her child. But once fear took control, the promise stopped being a gift. It became a bill everyone else had to help pay. Drop the next Cooper file in the comments, because this family did not bury its pain. It baptized it, joked about it, and called it normal. Missy survived.